Hey, welcome back. Russ Whitney here, and man, it's been a lot of fun spending some of this training time with you. It's also, it's also got my mind into the marketplace, and it's keeping me on track. Like I said, every time that I spend this training time with you, it forces me to spill some of my own medicine on myself. And one of the deals that I'm working on right now is with my good buddy Brian Hogg, and it is right. I mean, we're in my office right now, and so. This is probably not even 10 blocks from here, which is amazing because everybody's out looking all over the world for stuff and elsewhere. Sometimes usually the diamonds are right in our own backyard. We think it's all, the guy has, it's better in LA, or it's better in New York, or it's better over there, or this neighborhood. I'm telling you, the diamonds, once we know what we're doing, folks, they're right in our backyard. And I'm going to tell you, it's 10 blocks from here. I'm buying it's a property, it's about $185,000, now 175, 185, I don't remember. But I went down, actually, Domer, didn't we shoot this? We shot, okay, we have this. So we're going to be able to show this in a future one of the trainings? Yeah. Okay, all right, good. So it's right down the road, and it's about a $185,000 piece of property, and it's on a waterway, in our town. And it's a very, very decent neighborhood. I mean, this property in good shape is probably worth $329,000. We're picking up for $185,000 now. Cosmetically distressed. I wish we had the picture here because it's overgrown, not horribly, but needs paint. Needs to have the roof pressure washed. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a swimming pool now to increase its value because in our town, the lower level properties, first of all, you go to low and moderate income areas, that's a good market. And the reason is those are always already built out. Where most properties get into trouble, especially in a marketplace like this, is where developers are building new construction stuff. And that's because it's all speculative. When you go to low, moderate income areas, those neighborhoods are already built out. And there is a socioeconomic level of folks, that's the working people, man, who I was, you know what I mean? Most of us that are working a factory job, a union job, or, office worker type positions, America, man, that's what we're made up of. Those are already built out, so that neighborhood is occupied by who that neighborhood is occupied by. So generally, and I would challenge you right now, if you go to the Board of Realtors, you'll find that probably in your low, moderate income areas in your town, you're going to find that there's probably 5% vacancy ratios. So in other words, you don't have the 30, 40% vacancy ratio that you're going to find in the new development stuff, the speculative stuff. That's why low, moderate income is always stable. At least for me, that's where my best cash flow properties have always been and probably always will be. So what I'm talking about is in a nicer neighborhood. And in this neighborhood, it's probably the worst property on the block. Properties in that neighborhood in nice shape, fixed up in nice shape with the swimming pool, etc., probably sell right around $329,000. Now, what we did is we went to multiple listing, went to the Board of Realtors, and we can find out what the average property in that neighborhood is selling for and how long it takes to sell. Now, right now, you got a 60-day sale time on that. And I'm talking about in this market right now. And that's the purpose of this training video, to talk about the opportunity there is right now. While the news, the newspapers, and everybody's crying the blues and talking about a bad economy, guys, the insiders who know anything about real estate right now know this is probably the hottest market that I have seen in this economic cycle in probably 30 years. Now, granted, 5 years ago, there was buying and selling going on. I'm talking about more distressed properties and more distressed sellers, more distressed banks than ever before in my history, and that goes back 30 years. And I've been doing this a long time, so what I'm telling you is not speculation and not what I hope might happen. I've seen it happen time and time and time and time again. So we buy this at $185,000. We're going to spend probably $25,000 on a pool. We're going to put high trusses on the back porch, so we're going to make a beautiful back porch out of it on the waterway. So we'll probably have $65,000, $75,000 into this property. You're talking about a solid $65,000 profit within 60 days. And that's not exception to the rule either. There are those out on the market. And I was just talking, in fact, the fellows who are doing the camera work right here while I'm doing this training for you are asking me about some of the things in their neighborhood. And, that's what we're talking about right now is what's going on today. Deals right in our backyard. And we were just talking about short sales. And they were asking me, well, Russ, you sound like you're not too hot on short sales. You know what? Everybody and his brother, every amateur in the universe is running and competing against these short sales. They take time. They take effort. You're dealing with bureaucracy. Truth be told, I'd rather go for the REO. I want to go for the property that the bank has already taken back. Forget about that short sale stuff. Can you find a deal or two in there? Maybe. If that's something you want to specialize in after you have some experience, fine. There are guys that are going to make money, but you've got to build a pipeline there. It's going to take some months to get that done, and you've got to be putting deals in the pipeline in order for that to make sense. There's a lot easier ways to do it. And so here's what I want to make a point of in this training video today. First of all, we are probably in the hottest market we've ever been in. That's just a fact. If you're listening to newspaper news, your neighbors, you know, the relatives who are all crying the blues, I'm just going to tell you this. Most of those people are stuck in the problem. They don't know anything about making money or how money works. I will tell you that when most people are crying the blues, the insiders, those of us that understand how money works, we're looking for the opportunities right now, and there are tons of them in this marketplace. I've talked to you on this video about low and moderate income properties, circumstance and opportunistic real estate in the prior training videos in this series. I've told you about all those, so you have plenty of information there. Now what we're moving on to is what about in the more upper moderate income areas? My suggestion is this. We want to find a scrap realtor. And that simply is a realtor that owns investment property or deals in multiple units or deals in investor properties. That's where you want to go. And the gold mine ad is always good. Private investor wants income property. We'll look at any condition. Very, very good way to find the properties now, too. The other thing is I would start going to the bank-owned division. In other words, I want to go to the guy who's in charge of real estate-owned properties at the bank. So, in other words, these are properties that have already been taken back. The bank owns them. Especially to month-end and year-end, generally banks want to get those things off their books because if they don't get them off the books, they got to post a reserve. So they are much more willing to work. Generally, you might have to come up with cash, but there's investors all over the place. So if you go to the investor and syndication training piece that I put together for you, it'll show you how to line up some money. There's plenty of deals. Like right now, this one that I'm buying down the street. If I know I could buy for $165,000, $165,000, pardon my slang, I know I'm going to put $45,000, $50,000 into it, okay? So I've got X dollars in, and I know and I can show an investor that the average sale time on these is 60 days. Folks, that's not a pipe dream. You see, that's working the law of averages. That's working with facts. Those deals happen. Do you think I could line some investors up for that if I needed the money? There's no question I could do that all day long. Once you put a deal or two under your belt, you know, you make a few of these happen, you keep a little portfolio of those. Here's the property before, here's the after pictures, here's what I bought it for, here's what we put into it, I sold it in 60 days. Do you think you could line up some investors to do that? Now, on our next training video, I don't know if it's the very next one that you'll see or not, we're going to talk about how do I line up these investors. How do I put syndications together or a limited partnership together? There's lots of other ways to do that where if you're tight for money, but if you have the knowledge, you can make some serious money in this marketplace. So stay tuned, folks. This is Russ Whitney with the Real Estate Training signing off today.